Our next speaker will be defending the strong attributes of the world game, as they call it, the global game that is football. He started in Adelaide City at that now defunct NSL club. He had time at Marconi Fairfield. He is also spent time with the English Premier League, with Portsmouth. He is capped 31 times with the Socceroos, including a game as captain. He is now the SBS expert on the world game, and that's saying something, knowing those people at SBS. His name's Craig Foster, and welcome him to the stage. Thanks, mate. Before we go to the game itself, we want to talk about tomorrow. It's going to be a huge one for the Socceroos.
Yeah, it's massive. They're up against Japan, which is shaping for us now as this real rivalry, of course, after last year's World Cup. They're a good football nation. They've come a long, long way, and they're playing the best football in this Asian Cup at the moment. We're probably playing close to the worst, to be honest with you. So we need to really step up tomorrow. They won't relish playing against our boys because they're obviously great competitors, but we hope we get the result anyway.
But the game itself, though, obviously has global appeal, and that'll be a strong point of your argument today.
Well, you said it all, the world game. You know, I mean, I'm sure most of the room in here are supporters of the only football code that dominates the world. We're the biggest financially.
A few salvos already.
I mean, look, we've got guys now like Harry Kill, for instance. I mean, Harry could buy and sell some of the clubs that these other guys play for. So we've got plenty to discuss.
Before we get to that, if things do get down and dirty, any soccer hooligans in the room that you've prepared earlier?
Listen, we like a riot. Don't worry. We like flares. We like all the stuff being thrown over here. It's no problem.
We're going to look forward to it. Thanks very much, Craig.
Okay, Jimmy.
Well, let's go to the world game.
What would be the combined value of the business of AFL?
It's not about the money, Craig.
Let's say 100 million. 200 million, David Beckham will earn more in the next 2 years. That's the size of our game. We don't reward our players for failure when we try to kick in the appropriate direction. We don't put two other posts and say, sorry. We say accuracy is key in our game. We even put someone in there to try and stop you scoring. And he trains especially for the task. We cut the field down from these guys and say, no, it's harder to play in a tight area. Anyone can play in miles of space. You want to talk about class? Did you see the Italians last year and their Armani at the World Cup winning? That's what class is all about.
Sounds for Armani.
There's a reason that football dominates the world, and that's because it is the beautiful game. We don't smash each other. We don't have necks this size. You don't need muscles to play football. Anyone can play, any size or shape, male and female. I haven't seen the female Wallabies play, but Christ, I probably don't want to either, to be honest with you. So, look, to me, there's clearly no comparison.
It's great to see the tactic that Craig's taken, offend everyone. At this point, when we start talking World Cups, is this where I just cue you in, Craig Foster?
I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed that you term that a World Cup. You do have international competition, and it's something that we have with rugby union we have in common.
Yeah.
Here,
brother.
Cheers. But,
there's some love in the room.
But let's talk about real international competition. I don't remember the last time that Holland played AFL.
Here.
I don't remember the last time that Argentina played rugby league. Perhaps they do, but please.
They do, by the way.
In this world, there are more countries affiliated with FIFA, International Football Federation, than there are in the United Nations. Football is worldwide. Football has true international competition, and hallelujah, that's thankfully Australia is now a part of.
From football, Craig, we hear more about David Beckham wearing his wife's underwear. Is that something that's consistent throughout the game?
In a word, professionalism.
Bringing a whole new slant to professionalism.
That's what it's all about, Jimmy. That's what it's all about. You want to talk about behaviour. One thing we have in common in football with Wayne here in the AFL is the way we value the players. Our players' unions are both very strong. We look at the player welfare after their career and to really value the guy. I think the idea of player welfare in rugby league probably is to take them to a correctional facility and say, do you really want to be here? But look, it's Look, our guys have to behave well, because to be a fully professional and functioning footballer in what is a difficult code, in a code that has a sort of tactical depth, that, you know, you want to talk about a playbook like this, just to understand football takes decades, takes a lifetime actually. And to be a coach, for instance, in our sport, is a 5-year degree. You talk about education, and the players should be, absolutely. If you want to be in charge of a team at a good level in football, you need a degree. And that to me is the difference between the codes. But I think the other point to make, Jimmy, is this, before the guys hammer me, is you know, it's an interesting, Luke talking about, you know, the Islanders coming, and I would say, well, welcome to modern Australia, and welcome to football. Welcome to multicultural modern Australia. And what is the game that's most reflective? Football. You know, the Australians who beat Uruguay a couple of years ago, there was no fewer than 9 different cultural backgrounds. And that team most representative of Australia today, united the nation in a way that no other sport can. Certainly no other football code. I'd love to know an AFL grand final. I don't watch them, quite frankly, but
You're one of the few.
A game or a kangaroo game or any of those games where the nation stopped, or a game like against Italy where the nation wept. That's what football does. That's what football is, and that's why Australia's future is the world game.